This feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was. Then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. For those of you out there, obviously, the disinformation runs rampant here on YouTube and all over the web about everything going on with this outbreak. And I don't want to, in any way, shape, or form, question the CDC or anyone else, so I'm not doing that. But I want to show you a little bit of something that is going to prepare people for, possibly putting this in their skin at some point in time. But we have contact tracing now at schools. We have social distancing requirements that need to be, put in place, of course. So one of the things they're doing is they're using the wonderful world of technology to make sure children have these chips on their clothing, on your neck, on your shirt, and eventually in your wrist probably, so that they don't get too close to other people. And when they do, not only is there an alarm, but it's being calculated. The data is being calculated. And this isn't just happening at schools, it's happening at, play places that kids are going. They're getting these kids ready and prepared for this. And if they break the rules, it's like in a video game. It's like a slap on the wrist. Oh, you lost points. You violated the contact tracing twice. So get a load of this technology that's being used not just in schools, in the workplace, at places people bring their kids to play video games or whatever, arcades, whatever you want to call these places. Take a look.
Eyewitness News reporter Giovanna Lara shows us the pandemic stopping solution that could be coming to your school or workplace.
They call them boomerang bags, and it's how this West Hollywood private independent elementary school distributes classwork to students while they're learning from home.
Hello, hi. Be right back.
Every couple of weeks, parents drive through for a quick trade.
No, there's no food train this time at all.
Meanwhile, the school has been mobilizing, getting ready for students when they're able to safely return to campus in 2021. Directional signage, creative reminders to stay 6 feet apart, and something new. These microchips, part of a digital contact tracing system. Every student, teacher, and staff on campus will wear one.
I was looking for something that I could use with 2-year-olds or 12-year-olds.
Ravita Bowers, head of school at the Center for Early Education, says a pediatric epidemiologist suggested she look into the Alert Trace contact tracing system for her students and staff.
They were very small devices. In the case of young children, you can clip it to the back of their shirt.
These mini microchips, powered by tiny batteries, track the movements of everyone wearing them.
If you get within 6 feet of another person, it will emit a tiny little signal.
But more importantly, says Bowers, they document those interactions, sending that data to the 27 hubs installed throughout campus.
It's an innovative solution for a difficult problem.
Kyle Hopkins is with Voss Systems, which launched Alert Trace just 6 months ago. The problem he's referring to, the tedious work of contact tracing.
It kind of does everything on its own. It collects the data, and then if for some reason you did have somebody test positive, you can easily go into the system, search for their user ID, and then see everybody that individual came in contact with, the date, the time, and how long those contacts were for.
Hopkins adds no one's identity is revealed. The system tracks user ID numbers, not names. The data looks like this when it's retrieved. And in this case, the microchip minis stay on campus when students go home.
It allows you to better manage where those devices go, and it 100% makes the process more efficient.
And all that data, it serves another purpose, identifying any potential hotspots where people tend to gather a little longer than they should.
It's teaching us a lot. And as a teaching and learning institution, knowledge is power.
Jungle George's manager Matthew Mills says measures start right when people walk in the door.
It's actually a couple pieces. One part is a temperature machine. It checks your temperature externally by putting your hand up to the sensor, and then underneath it has sanitizer, so you can add sanitizer to your hands afterwards.
And soon, they'll be able to monitor how well people are able to social distance throughout their facility.
The social distancing machine, it's going to be connected to our cameras. Right now we have one at the front door. However, we do plan to have it connected to all of our cameras. So then we can basically examine where we have hotspots of people that tend to kind of cluster and try to kind of brainstorm together to find out ways to kind of help prevent and to help us social distance more.
This fascist crap makes me want to puke.
What do you think you're scratching, caveman? You really think we'd let you go without control? Your code was implanted the second you thawed.
What a crazy world we live in. There's no such thing as predictive programming. There's no such thing as any of it. You know, this is just a precautionary measure for everybody out there. So let's take a look, a deeper look here. The innovative, let's call it the one-niner tracker that can detect when an individual was possibly exposed to the outbreak might soon be coming to your school or workplace. The Center for Early Education, which you saw, a private independent elementary school in West Hollywood, of course, Hollywood. Administrators and staff have been mobilizing, preparing for students when they're able to return in 2021, which is now, or coming in the coming weeks. Directional creative reminders to stay 6 feet apart, and something new, the microchip that are part of a digital contact tracing system. Every student, teacher, and staff on campus will wear one. Neato! Isn't that neat? Someone said I was looking for something I could use. Oh, this is the woman from The Thing, right? She said she was looking at something to use with 2-year-olds. So got them prepared as well. Interesting that they're doing this with children. They're focusing on children to get this mindset where it's just normal to have this type of technology on them and then to have their behavior accounted for, right? Remember I talked about the social score that they were going to implement? Remember Black Mirror, the TV show, talking about the social score?
That's reserved for members of our Prime Flight program. You got to be a 4.2 or over to qualify.
Oh, I'm a 4.2.
I'm afraid you're actually a 4.18.
It's so close.
There's just nothing I can do.
Christ, I mean, surely.
I'm gonna have to ask you to moderate your language there.
No.
Step away, Mel.
God, just fucking help me.
Sorry. I've called security.
I'm a 5-starring you? 5 stars?
What's the issue here, Rihanna?
Intimidation and profanity.
No. The score reverts to normal in 24 hours.
No, but I need it now.
Period. All downvotes are subject to a ×2 multiplier. We recommend you avoid negative feedback at this time.
Right? That ties into this. You heard the guy talking about, well, we're monitoring people's behavior. You know, we're watching, they're too close to so-and-so. Or they violated the 6-foot rule 3 times today. Slap on the wrist. Your social score goes down. Game over, right? Wah, 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 wah. I mean, you can't make it up. They've been preparing people with predictive programming, but again, we're all the crazy people. That's just movie stuff. It's only happening in real life now, including the outbreak stuff. Unbelievable. It's a very small device. In the case of young children, you can clip it to the back of their shirt. The mini chips powered by tiny batteries track the movements of everyone wearing them. Right? That's not 1984-ish. Tracks the movement of everyone. That's all you need. Because you don't want to get too close to someone because you don't want to pass anything on. You know? They say we set our system so that if you get within 6 feet of another person, it will emit a tiny little signal, probably radiation. But more importantly, she said the devices document those interactions, sending the data to 27 hubs installed throughout the campus. It's an innovative solution for a difficult problem. The problem he's referring to, the tedious work of contact tracing. They say it does everything on its own. It collects the data, and then if for some reason you did have someone test positive, you could easily go into the system, search for their user ID, and then see everyone that that the individual came in contact with, the date, the time, and how long the contact was for, right? And then we could get them isolated into a FEMA camp as well. So this is going to work wonderfully. Hopkins says no one's identity is revealed. The system tracks user ID numbers, not names, so you're tracked by a number, probably your social score, or the social credit score that they're going to give you. So just cool new technology. There's no privacy being taken away from people here. This is for the betterment of humanity. So this is wonderful news, right, everybody? Let me know how you feel in the comment section below. I'm sure. And again, I think, we're just evolving with technology, aren't we? I haven't been talking about the chip for years and years. Many people haven't been talking about it for years and years, right? It starts out as a chip clip on your shirt. And then just like your credit card, right? Remember the stories I covered? Where they were like, oh, the chips are falling out of the credit cards. People are picking up the chips off the ground and then using it to hack into people's bank accounts. Right? Why do those stories come out? Why do stories like this come out? Where it's like, oh, it's a clip-on your shirt. Because then the stories come out where, oh, the clip fell and it's not staying on them and it's not working. Because, it'll be easier if we just had it in us. Exactly. And that's what they're preparing everyone for. You can see it right here. Simple as that. And why? Who else would they target? These young kids growing up in a world where all they know is to be contact traced, to be 6 feet apart, not to touch one another or be near each other, 1984 style. And to depend on technology and then date robots and who knows what else. Hopefully I'm not here to see any of it. That would be nice. Because it's just getting sick. I remind everyone, check out the website at callforuprising.com. It's $2.99 a month. If you haven't checked it out, please consider doing so. It's well worth it. I want to thank the Patrons and thank all of you guys out there for your support. God bless you and your families.